Hi everyone, I'll go into more detail in this video, but here's a quick summary of how I do color work for all my patterns. Crochet color work graphics are essentially just a pixelated image where you change your yarn color to reflect one stitch per pixel. Single crochet graphs would be perfect squares, but most of my designs use half double crochet, which is a taller stitch, so my graphs are designed with that in mind so that they won't appear stretched. I have some free graphs available on autumnolive.com as well as whole collections of my various paid patterns. You can also use Stitch Fiddle or Google to source your own as long as it fits the number of rows by stitches on your project. Say that this is the size of the piece you are working with and you want to center the graphic. Take the number of stitches on your piece minus the number of stitches on the graphic and divide this number into 2 onto either side of the graph. The graphic will begin on the next stitch number up. If you get a half number, you'll just have one extra stitch on one side. You will do the same method to find the row placement, but it needs to start on an odd row, so you would round to the nearest odd number, whether you get a whole number or a decimal. If you crop the piece, remember to recalculate for the new amount of rows. Your graphic should begin lower. Graphs must begin on an odd row. They may look a little uneven on screen, but that is to account for the uneven stitches in crochet. Every odd row on the graph will be worked on an odd row of your piece. In this example, I will start the strawberry on row 3. Graphs are started at the widest point of the image. Look at the numbers on the graph to ensure that you are including any additional blank spaces on the first row as part of the starting point. For example, pattern says graph begins on stitch 10, but there are 4 additional blank spaces before the first color change, so your first color change is on stitch 14. Here is stitch number 9. You will not change color on that 10th stitch since you still have blank spaces. Read the graph from right to left on odd rows and left to right on even rows. See the arrows to the left. When changing colors, it should be done on the last stitch of the current color. Yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over with the new color, then pull through. That's for a half double crochet. Keep all ends away from you when working the right side rows and towards you when working the wrong side rows. Even numbered rows will be considered the wrong side if you are right-handed, and odd number rows will be considered the wrong side if you are left-handed. I personally use tapestry crochet for wearables and crochet over all non-working colors to avoid floats, keeping it snug but not taut so that they don't bunch up under the stitches. Background color through the graphic and drop the other colors when they are done for that row. After those 4 red stitches, I drop the red and pick up the background color to finish the row. For large spaces between colors, I will cut shorter lengths and work from those. As you can see here, I cut out several lengths of white for the ghosts so that it wouldn't show up in the black spaces between, but I just crocheted over the black background color in each ghost graphic. Little tip I use for small sections of half double crochet color work: count the squares in the graph of a certain color and wrap the yarn around 3 fingers that many times, or you can just make a swatch to determine the length needed. Working the next even row now, following the graph from right to left. As a right-handed person, this is the wrong side of my piece, so I will pull the color changes toward me. Working over the background color through the graph and then dropping the red at the end of the graph. Be sure to untangle your yarn every couple of rows so you don't end up with knots. Thank you for watching!